Hey, Miami sports fans. Stop by Canesware today at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida, and check out their awesome merchandise selection of your favorite South Florida sports teams. From the Miami Dolphins, Hurricanes, Heat, Marlins, Florida Panthers, and Inter Miami, they've got it all. Celebrate your favorite team and show off your fandom with their beautiful team starter jackets, killer-looking helmets, team jerseys, cool shirts, and more. And if you're out of town or out of state, no worries. Go to caneswear.com and find everything they have on their site. Select what you want and they will ship your gear to you. Anything over $99 is shipped for free. Don't wait. Stop at Caneswear today.
It's back.
The green train is running.
Bobby, sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Fins Talk today on the Fins Talk Sports Network. And there it is. Breaking news. The Miami Dolphins have signed Tua Tagovailoa to an extension.
Is that why Finn Stanza's here?
That's why he's here. He
I was
showed
wondering
up.
why he was here, because he came out of nowhere.
He
Flash.
popped out of nowhere. There he is.
He was like the Flash, man. He just quick like that. Cat skills.
4 years.
I disappear and then I reappear. So
that's exactly what you do. $212.4 million deal, $167 million guaranteed, $53 million a year. Big news out of the Miami Dolphins yesterday. So happy here to be today with the one and only Fish Tank Hank. Fish Tank, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, sir. I actually had some great news. I went and got a second opinion from somebody out in the public and did a new MRI screening. And they said that whatever I have, it's so minute that it won't even pick it up on the MRI. So I have negligible cancer. I have some form of cancer, but it's so small that they can't even pick it up on MRI. So they're just...
That's amazing news, man. Congratulations. That's great. Thank God. That is awesome. We just lose Fish Tank?
didn't take long, eh?
He froze up. That's all right, but that's some great news. Bleezy is in the house. Chef is in the house. Chef, what's up, my man? What's up, brother? Cat? Finally over. Football is back. Aladino. Fins up, brother. Let's see here. Andrew Harris loves the Tua signing. Awesome. Well, we'll wait for Fish Tank to come back, but it's me and Finstanza in the house. Finstanza, where are you coming from, man?
Where? That's where I'm coming from. I'm doing my tour of my Miami Dolphins shopping, that's for sure.
Coming from Canesville. What, any good deals they got going on over there?
Hats are on sale. They have a lot of, obviously, Florida Panther stuff, Inter Miami, Miami Hurricanes. But no, they have some good stuff for the kids. Overall, they're having some decent sales, but it's just a fun place to be. I walked in, it was pretty quiet. But within 10 minutes, we were already all going at it in the store about Tua and the signing and what's going on with the Dolphins, who's to blame, who's going to training camp, who's going to preseason. It's fun to be in South Florida during this time.
100%. And what a time to be there right now. Well, almost the eve. Well, training camp has started, but the eve of public training camp, preseason around the corner. We were all in discussion all around the Dolphin Twitterverse and content creatorverse or whatever, discussing this contract, when and if it was going to get done, should it get done. It is done. $212 million for 4 years, 167 guaranteed, and 53 million average. I actually was pulling this up. We had other stuff to discuss, and we will get to that today. But these are the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL on a per year basis. Jordan Love is number one. He got his deal right after Tua, a couple years, which that was a clutch move by the front office. Get that deal done before Jordan Love, because you knew that deal would have had to gone up. But Jordan Love got $55 million a year. Trevor Lawrence is $55 million a year. Joe Burrow, $55 million a year. Tua with 53.1, right, a 1 over on Jared Goff, who had 53. Justin Herbert, 52.5. Lamar Jackson, 52. And then Jalen Hurts, 51. And for Jordan Love, he got a 4-year, $220 million deal, which makes him the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. $75 million signing bonus, and $155 million in full guarantees. Tua, on the other hand, not the highest paid quarterback in NFL history, but is the highest paid highest paid player in Miami Dolphins history. So I saw someone write that yesterday as a kind of a criticism of the deal. Jordan Love was just made the highest paid quarterback in NFL history over players like a Pat Mahomes and et cetera. That is the market. Anytime a new deal is signed, especially for those guys in that tier, it's going to be the most in NFL history, blah, blah, blah. I think let me see. Brett Legasse's in the house. There you go. Brett says Tua, it's a $167 million, is $167 million guaranteed. 8th highest in the NFL. If they did it right, Miami will have a cash year for 4th year, so likely a 3-year with a cap heavy in the first 3. Absolutely. And we're going to find out. Again, $167 million guaranteed for me and Brett. You let me know in the comments, man. Steve Malloy in the house. Steve will be on at 2:30 Eastern time for Real Talk Rants. We're going to be discussing that Tua contract as well. But for me, I think a $167 million guaranteed is a huge win for the Miami Dolphins, considering what quarterbacks are getting. Again, what was that signing bonus? $75 million signing bonus for Jordan Love on 1 year. 1 year of a resume of being a pro, and he got a $75 million signing bonus at the table. Just crazy. But anyway, Sandra, you're hearing these numbers. You saw Jordan Love get that deal. What is your mindset on it, brother? Can you hear me?
Mine on the Tua deal?
Yeah, Tua, but Jordan Love. I hear you good. Yeah, on the Jordan Love deal. Jordan Love's
deal to me, for a guy who's played has had a lot of less snaps. Yes, he had a fantastic playoff game against last year. He had a fantastic season last year. He's proven less than Tua. Yes, he's won a playoff game, but he's proven less than Tua. So for me, that deal that Tua got, let's be clear, $75 million for Jordan Love has to come off the books by December. Tua's 167. We don't know how much of that is injury guarantees. We don't know how much of it is fully, truly guaranteed based on how it's going to be set up. And we're going to save some cap space. The Jordan Love deal for me is, I think,
Bobby,
Packers keeping the longevity.
Are you there, Bobby?
Yes.
Hank, we're here.
Yes, Hank. I see you're in the audio, my man. Hi, what happened? Did you lose power?
My building lost power.
I figured that's what went down, my man.
And now I'm doing using my hotspot on my phone.
Oh my! Of course.
And I don't know how long that's going to last. So my apologies, people. I don't know how long that will last, but oh well for right now, I guess.
Oh well for right now. Well, Fitzstanton was just finishing up his thoughts on Jordan. Well, we just lost him. What a day! What a day! Oh my!
I'm still here though.
You're still here. Well, that's okay. Well, look, let's do this as we wait, hopefully for Finn Stanton to come back. But understandable, he is on the road on vacation with his family, but he wanted to be on. So if he can't pop back in, that's okay. Hopefully he can. But if he can't, that's all right. Understandable. I appreciate him coming in. But Fish Tank Hank, for those who are just watching or don't understand what the hell's going on, Fish Tank lost power. So he is on his phone. So he's with me audio-wise. I'm here alone, but that's okay. As long as Fish Tank here is in spirit, we're good. Fish Tank. So I was just talking about the Tua deal. Tua at $212 million, $167 guaranteed, $53 million a year. Makes him is guaranteed is 8th highest in the NFL, I think, amongst quarterbacks. He is 3rd or 4th highest on highest paid per year. He is just under Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, and Joe Burrow, $53.1 million. Right one over Jared Goff. When you saw the numbers, when you saw the deal yesterday on X or wherever you had seen it, what was your initial thoughts, man?
I was flipping out. I was like, wow, they did it. Wow, all right. And when you sit and take a good look at it, I think both sides had a nice balance, in my opinion, Bobby. They had a lot of back and forth for quite some time, but I think it's a good deal for both sides. With Tua's history of going back and forth on the field and whatnot, whether or not he can stay healthy, that was an issue. Obviously, the Dolphins had to address within the contract somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but they had to guarantee him the money, had to bring him in. He's done the time. He's performed. He hasn't performed when we really needed him so far, but that doesn't mean that he can't get it done. And I believe that the Dolphins paid him right where they should have. And I'm glad both sides got it done. I think it's a great thing for the Dolphins for the next at least 2 years.
And Constanza and I were talked about it yesterday, and I absolutely agree with you, Fish Tank. Again, we were concerned if this deal was going to get done before the season because of the way the market was. You look at these contracts for Jared Goff, for Trevor Lawrence, for Justin Herbert, and you're going, damn, okay, it's only going higher. Jordan Love is going to get a big deal, and he had a great year last year, but it was only a 1-year thing. We don't know what he's going to do in year 2 for the Green Bay Packers, but he's going to get a monster deal, and he did. So you're like, man, hopefully they get this done, because if they go into the season, my fear was if you go into the season without a new deal, he possibly holds out, and that just risks your whole season with the Miami Dolphins. It's a distraction, etc. Then you possibly lose him after next season, which I know some Dolphin fans might be, that would be good news. But then again, you were worried about this year. And the fact of the matter is you could love him, you could like him, you could be like, he's not the guy, or he's not a franchise guy. You know how damn good this team is with him. He's not a terrible quarterback. He's not a bad quarterback. He's a damn good, could be great quarterback. And you're getting him at this type of deal with this type of money, at this type of guaranteed. I don't think it's a bad deal. I think it's a very fair deal for both Tua and the Miami Dolphins. Fitzstanza, can you hear us good? Are you back?
Yeah, blame the internet in Florida.
That's okay.
In Canada with our fiber network. Good. No, overall, like I was mentioning before about the Jordan Love deal, if you look at his stats overall in comparison, this is Tua's deal on average is, if you take away, because right now he's signed for his 3rd and 5th year option now, so it's only going to be 23.1 now. We're going to be able to move some money around, save some money on the books. We're going to gain about at least $8-9 million in cap space. It's the right deal for the right time because Mike McDaniel's here. He fits in the offense. It's built for him. And the other thing is that no matter what we have to say and what people think of Tua, remember a couple years ago when Flores was there was all these rumors about no one wanted Tua on this team. No one wanted to be his quarterback. But then you look now, and you have Teron Armstead, you have Tyreek Hill, you have everyone going out there, Mike McDaniel going out there and saying, this is our quarterback, this is who we can win with. You have to listen to the players. If the players didn't want him there, if Tyreek Hill didn't want him there, and he would ask for a trade. There's a sense of unity on this team. We have a 2-year window, and right now with the cap and everything, so that's what we should be sticking with. So overall, it's the right deal. And let's all think about the whole $50 million thing. There's only one player right now on average making over $50 million. That's Lamar Jackson. Everyone else is making under. So if his average salary is around $46 to $47 million, and like I said earlier, We don't know how much the 167 is truly, how much is tied to injury guarantees. So until we know all of that information, on its face, the money looks really good. The overall contract looks really good because now we can look forward to this season. The last thing I would want is for my father to go to season games. Imagine me going to a game watching Mike White throw the football. Bubby, what were we doing during that game against Carolina? You and I were watching him, and we're going, he's about to hike that football to throw a pick. Like, can you imagine Skylar Thompson at game one? Everyone's going to walk into the season all excited about who our quarterback is and the fact that we have a chance to win every football game. Can you imagine the feeling of the Miami Dolphins going to game one against the Jaguars, where they gave Trevor Lawrence $275 million and he's going against Mike White? Like, oh my God, like this. Can you imagine the fan base? So even the people who, we're never going to tell people how to fan, but in the end, there's a guy who wants to win. He's a competitor. He has won before. And in the end, there are not that many elite quarterbacks in the league. Now, people are going to say who the top quarterbacks are in the AFC East. Is he even in the top five? Who cares? Right now, the only person who's truly won in the AFC East, in the AFC, is Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow has an injury history, getting paid $55 million. Lamar Jackson, yes, he's a two-time MVP, can't get to the Super Bowl after how many years in the league? Josh Allen, same issue. Justin Herbert has proven nothing. Trevor Lawrence has proven nothing. So in the end, in the grand scheme of it, every quarterback has something to prove every single year because most of them haven't won over the last couple of years. So our window is now. We're developing our team. I have a huge belief in this team this season. You know where I don't believe yet. That for me, I'm not worried about Tua. I'm not worried about our offense. I'm not worried about our defense. I'm not even worried about our kicking game. I'm worried about our head coach. Everything else will come together.
Exactly. Scotty is in the house. Let me say hi to everyone who's watching right now. Scotty, Cap for Life, Brett Lagasse, Steve Malloy, host of Real Talk Rant, Steve Malloy, host of Finstock Overtime, Brett Lagasse, tuning in. And let's see, Ryan AP, great to see you, my man. Scotty, good to see you as always. John in the house, John Ferrarino. He thinks it's a win for both Dolphins and Tua. It's everyone's fear that Tua was looking to be the highest paid. Obviously, that was not the case. And hey, you know what? Kudos to him. And no doubt, Fish Tank brought it up just right before Evan talked, and Brett as well, in regards of, those type of games you need to win. Tua was not able to do that. The team was not able to do that. Now, the money, you got your deal. This team is very talented. You got the talent. Now it's the time to do that. You can't do it anymore. Now it's about winning those games in December and winning a playoff game and more. And hopefully this gives Tua the confidence to say this team is truly now behind me. I don't want to hear no more about Brian Flores. I want to hear no more about Deshaun Watson and Tom Brady. The team is behind me. Let's get this done. Let's make this happen.
Let's do it, Bobby. I'm there with you.
So
let me just point this one out thing, and I will admit this. I won't even say it, Bobby, throughout the season. You can hold me to task. You can record this. The Tua signing basically essentially extends him towards almost the end of the year of where Mike McDaniel's contract ends, and this only solidified, I think, Chris Greer. I don't think anything's happened unless something catastrophic happens to the team, where injuries or so he has such a. We're going to go the next at least 3 to 4 years with this this front office, this head coach, and this foundational of a team. The only person I can maybe see moving on after the season are some coordinators if Weaver potentially gets another opportunity. But by signing Tua to this deal, we basically are connecting Greer, McDaniel, and Tua together for at least the next 2 to 3 seasons at the minimum.
Absolutely. And again, you needed to get this done for that very reason. This team and the window is there. The window is small, but it's there. Tyreek Hill, that extension could be coming up next. Scotty saying now still extend Hill, Holland, Phillips, and Ramsey. There you go. Scotty is enjoying the South Florida to the max. Lots of activities. Let's do this as well, guys. Let's see if anybody would like to pop in for 5 minutes or a couple minutes to give your thoughts on the Tua contract. Let's do that if you haven't yet. And that way we can get everyone's kind of opinion there as we move along. I'm dropping that link. Pop in. Give us your 2 to 5 minute thoughts as we move on here. Cat for Life says, I'm glad they did it now. Fans didn't deserve another week like the last one. 100%. Let's go ahead. Let's make sure I'm not missing out here. And again, we don't have to worry about no hold out or hold in. Again, took one day and everybody was discussing what Tua was doing. Was sitting there on the sideline with his hands in his pockets. People were going over critical on that. Now you don't have to worry about that anymore. That's out the window. So like Finstanza, they're going to be there for training camp, indoor training camp, possibly for preseason, to be able to watch Tua and be able to say he is good to go. Very good to get rid of that distraction. Just let's go on. If anybody pops in, we'll get back. We'll circle back to that Tua conversation. But let's move on very quick. Obviously, we don't have to talk about no holdouts with Tua anymore, and we're not going to have to talk about any holdouts for Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, has said to me a lot of good things. I mean, obviously, we know he is looking for an extension. His agent, Drew Rosenhaus, is talking with the team. We are waiting to hear what that may be. But he is saying all the right things. Tyreek Hill admitted earlier this week that targeting for 2,000 yards last season was selfish, and he won't be doing that this season. He also revealed that he told his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, in regards to a contract extension, quote unquote, and the only thing I told Drew was, do not get me traded, bro. The last time you did this, Kansas City Chiefs, you got me traded. That's been my only thing to him. I want to stay here in Miami, man. This is where my family is now. Everybody loves it here. My family loves it. Wife loves it. Kids love it. Obviously, I love playing for Coach Mike McDaniel. And my teammates are awesome. I wouldn't want to leave, man. So, Fish Tank, I'll start with you. Finstanza right after. You hear that? What are your thoughts on Tyreek Hill?
On a side note, Bobby, you're reading so smooth. I think I'm going to need you to sing, read me a bedtime story tonight, all right? Anyway, beside the fact.
Whew, a little blushing.
Beside the fact. Look at Finstanza. He can't help it. Look at that. See?
Welcome back, Evan.
I knew I'd get you. All right. So let's get serious. Tyreek Hill, hey, that's no surprise. He knows a winning team. He's been on a winning team before. He sees the talent that's here, offense, defense. He knows what Mike McDaniel's been trying to put together. Yeah, Mike McDaniel tripped over his own shoelaces a couple years. Yeah, that happens. But I remember a real young coach that used to be for the Indianapolis Colts that became one of the greatest coaches ever, because they said he couldn't win the big game too. And that guy was named Don Shula. So I just want to say, don't give up on McDaniel yet. Some of you out there are a little piped on him. Don't give up on it yet. Trust me, it's about to happen. I told Bobby years ago, 2023, 2024, one of those 2 years, we're going to be booming. We're here. We're in the middle of it finally. I love it. I love it. We got Tua wrapped up for 2 years. I don't think Tyreek's going to go anywhere, so they're not going to want to, after he makes that public statement, guess what Greer's going to do? He's going to try to short him again, Oh, I got him because he wants to stay here. I hope Greer pays him whatever the market value is when Tyreek Hill goes to claim another additional package to his compensation package, I guess. That's all I got, Bobby.
There you go. Evan, you heard him. What do you think?
I can tell you this by coming to South Florida. Tyreek Hill has established himself as part of the community with Soul Runner. Even the foundation he's been able to create by going to all these different camps. He even came to Montreal and hosted a camp. I wish my kids would have had the opportunity to go to that camp. Unfortunately, they were away at camp, or else I would have sent them to meet Tyreek Hill at this camp, not 15 minutes from where I live in Montreal. The guy also is going through a little bit of a legal battle right now, a little bit of legal trouble. And I don't think he wants to, I don't think the market would be so great for him. And I don't think he'll get the contract that he wants. But the fact that Tua's here, and McDaniel's here, and we have a very passing-focused offense, I think he knows his greatest opportunity to be a successful wide receiver and player is going to be in Miami. I don't think he wants to start all over again. So for me, it's the right thing, because for Tua to be successful, for the team to be successful, what do we always need? We need an elite player. We haven't had that since Marino. So also, there's an excitement. I think none of us would be as excited about this football team up until 2 years ago. When we found out we all got Tyreek Hill, our excitement level for this team completely changed. It was like a whirlwind of a feeling for us. So in the end, for me, Tyreek Hill is a Miami Dolphin. I think we need to establish the fact I think he's truly motivated to prove himself here. I think actually for this year, I think he'll get his signing, but I think for him, it's sort of like a repeat of Tua in a different way, where this is like a show-me season for him. Because remember, he said a couple of years ago, but last year, that he may only play 2 or 3 more seasons. I think he's actually going to want to play longer. I think he's going to want to be in Miami, and he'll take whatever money he needs till he wins a Super Bowl. Because I think in his mind right now, Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City has won without him twice. I think he has something to show, and I think he's going to be a very selfless player this year. I think he's going to keep his mouth shut, be very team focused, and I think it's actually the perfect time to have Tyreek Hill. I think he's going to have his best overall season, not just stats wise, just as a leader of this football team. And because if you've seen Bobby and Hank, we've watched it. Look at the game in Frankfurt. Look at the playoff game. Tyreek Hill has fallen asleep a few times. And I think this year with the OBJ and all that, I think they're going to be very smart with him and do a little more of an NBA-focused mindset with Tyreek Hill and have a little bit of load management with him. Because I think we have the depth now, either in the running game or at wide receiver, where we can afford to do this. And I think it's actually going to be the best season Tyreek Hill has had as a Miami Dolphin.
There you go. Right here. Let me just say, I just remembered right now, as Vincenzo was talking, I don't know what triggered me. Well, Tyreek Hill. I kept hearing Tyreek Hill, and I'm doing for our Once Upon a Sunday fantasy football show on the network. They are doing an amazing charitable fantasy draft. Now, what's different with this fantasy draft, they got multiple leagues, and it's by Justin Burley and Josh Kimmel. Justin is doing an amazing job. It's really Justin doing the work. But what's different about this type of fantasy football draft, Finstanza and Hank, usually the draft is like, a couple minutes and you got to make your pick and it ends in one day. This is like 8 hours every pick. So, you got a long time before your pick comes up. So, and sometimes I'm like, man, some people do it faster and some people take a long time. For me, I usually go right away. I'll go check it. Oh, here I am. And I got my queue. But I drafted Tyreek Hill with my number 1 pick. I was the 4th overall pick in the draft. But right now, I just ended up on the clock. And a good thing I remembered. I went, let me check. And I am on the clock. And I got going between Lad McConkey, Roma Dunze, Xavier Worthy, or Nick Chubb. DeAndre Hopkins is still there. So I'm trying, or Keon Coleman. So now I'm trying. I got 6 hours, so I'm not rushing. But I was like, oh, crap. So I'm now trying to figure that out. Say what?
Yeah, we know, Bobby. We know what you're doing. We know what you're doing. You're fishing for answers on who you should take.
That's right. I want to know. Give me a name. Let me see.
His name is Nick Chubb.
I thought about that. You know what? Because he had a tough year last year, got injured. You could get him back. And what if he ends up having a monster year? Keon Coleman. Scotty says Keon Coleman. I'm actually really thinking because, Josh Allen lost Stephon Diggs. Keon Coleman could be a good get at fantasy because he might be the number 1 guy. But McConkey for Justin Herbert, they don't have a number 1 receiver. McConkey could be a really good get there with Justin Herbert. And, of course, Xavier Worthy with Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to figure it out. I want to talk
Nick Chubb all day.
I want to talk very quick. Nick Chubb. I think I'm with you guys. I think I'm going to go that. Actually, while we're talking, because hopefully I'm going to draft him right now. Bam! Nick Chubb. Got it.
All right, Bobby.
Okay, hold on.
You every time with these now.
I know. Yeah, we're going to do we're going to do a 24-hour show where they're going to help me every time I get a pick. It stops at midnight. It takes a break at midnight. But anyway, so let me go ahead and get out of there. Let's talk about this very quick because I did want to talk about Fishing King has a new hobby, and I was talking about something that I started really getting into now that has to do with sports. But before we get into that, we know Shaq Barrett retired. was a shock. We signed him. It was a good signing. Retired right before the start of training camp. It sucked. The Dolphins, though, turned around and re-signed Emanuel Ogbah to a 1-year deal at a lower cost. He was what, $12 million a year, Evan, originally? Was it $12 million a year? Ogbah?
Ogbah was going to make, if we wouldn't have cut him, he would have made $15 million this year.
And now you sign him to whatever the hell he got, which is obviously way lesser than that.
Base, $2 million base with up to $3 million incentives. So it can go up as high as $5 million for the season. See,
so basically,
even when I'm on
you
vacation,
$10 million,
I know
possibly.
what's going on.
That's right. That's why I asked you. But, to me, what a deal. What a deal that you bring back Emanuel Ogbah, who's familiar with this team, familiar with the players, his teammates. Saved $10 million to bring him back. He's a veteran. You know damn well how good he can be. Obviously, past couple seasons, not as great. But again, that doesn't matter. He's not coming to be the starter. He's coming to be a rotational piece. And that's a very strong rotational piece to put with Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb eventually, Chop Robinson, Mo Kamara, Calais Campbell. I like this move. I don't know if you guys feel different. Fish Tank, have you found your words? What do you think about Ogbah coming back?
Yeah, I found him. I found him there, Big Sexy. Look, I love the move. I love this move. I think it's one of the better moves that we've made in the offseason, to be honest with you, because we are going to need Ogbah in the beginning. We are going to need him probably. And like you said, whether he's rotational or more of a number 2 or number 3 starter, depending on where he is in the string, we're going to need him in the beginning if those guys aren't healthy, especially, and I think that without him, this team just wouldn't be the same. We will falter in the beginning without him, in my opinion. We would have had some big, rough games in the beginning. But having him around as a backup or as a rotational player, I love it. I love it. I think it's a great move. You got veterans on the line. You got the rookies in there. It's a great mix. It's a great mix of everybody, in my opinion.
There you go. Evan? Evan, your thoughts on Ogbah coming back, man? You happy?
The fact that they brought in 2 people for a workout, Yannick Ngakoue, they chose not to go with him. This is an Anthony Weaver decision. You have a guy who literally, at the end of the year, him and the Miami Dolphins were not getting along very well. The fact that we're able to bring him back at such a low contract, add additional cap space, I think is a great move because this is another show-me season for Emanuel Ogbah because he'll be looking for his next contract. It's not like Shaq Barrett, who potentially was going to maybe play 1 or 2 more years and then retire. So for me, this shows that they made the right call because Emanuel Ogbah wants to prove that they made a mistake last year by not playing him more. And I think it will be a good rotational piece with Mo Kamara, and you can also move Calais Campbell to the edge. You can bring in Deshaun Han. You can bring in there's a lot of depth now. And this is something that, like I said, you know how high I am on Anthony Weaver, right? So for me, the fact that he chose this player and the fact that he came in good shape, the fact that he was ready to come back, that he's motivated to come back and had positive words to say about the Miami Dolphins, I'm very happy with the signing because there's no risk to it. It's a base salary. Like, look at our defensive line of players. We have all these guys who are making $2 million. It's crazy. Like, our defensive line, we've signed how many players for the replacement of Christian Wilkins? I think we've signed like 14 players for the equivalent of Christian Wilkins. It's crazy on the defensive side of the ball. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Let's go on here with the injury bug. Injury bug has bitten the Dolphins early. Camp has just started, but Miami's already placed wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. and David Long on the PUP list, and rookie wide receiver Taj Washington is out for the season with his injury, which really sucks because we all had high hopes for him. But Malik Washington's still in the fold. Malik Washington was drafted a little higher and has made a little bit more noise. But Taj, don't worry, we'll be back and we'll have a strong season next year, I do believe. Odell Beckham seems like his injury is just from last year. He's still kind of recovering from that. But with David Long, well, let me ask you this. Evan, I'll start with you. Fish Tank, follow up. Evan, which injury hurts the most? Which injury hurts the most for Miami?
Neither. These are veterans, and the POP list, most of the guys you see on the POP list, unless you see them going on IR, they'll be back in a week. I make a prediction that by the time the preseason hits, both of these guys will be off the PUP list. I'm not worried. These are veterans. If this was a first or second-year player who had a great season last year, and we were hearing Jalen Waddle was on the PUP list, or maybe Javon Holland was on the PUP, or something like that, I'm not worried about these two guys. Although Beckham, a seasoned veteran, doesn't bother me at all. I have zero concern about these two guys being on the PUP list. Zero.
There you go.
Zero, absolute zero concern.
There you go. Fish Tank?
I'm right there with him on the PUP list because I don't see I don't see it. Yeah. There's no way. The big loss here, because that was your question. The big loss here is Taj. I was really hoping he was going to be one of those wide receivers that could fill in the gap when the other guys are getting the rest, when Waddle's getting his rest, maybe when Hill's getting his rest. But we, like you said, we still have Malik. So, all isn't lost yet. So, these guys were picked for a reason. They're spectacular players. Greer doesn't take wide receivers lightly. So I like it.
There you go. Oh, man. All right. So, listen. Obviously, Finstanza is on vacation. So happy to see his beautiful face back on the network's airwaves. Of course, we've got a chance to see his beautiful family on here as well. They popped in a little bit yesterday. I seen some of their heads walk past a little bit in the background. He was just at Caneswear, which they got amazing stuff over there. Excited for their continued partnership. Fish Tank Hank, it looks like your power is back on, which is awesome. But it's been quite a day. The network, we got plenty of content coming out today. Obviously, at 2:30 Eastern, the Dolphins coverage of the Finstock Sports Network's coverage of the Tua Tagovailoa contract extension continues with Steve Malloy and company on Real Talk Rants. He will continue that at 2:30 Eastern time. Finstanza, I know, will be turning in and ready to go to make his little comments. Tonight, we got, for our wrestling fans, No Holds Barred, we got our SummerSlam preview episode predictions to discuss what's going on there. Tomorrow, East 10th Street boys, it's my birthday tomorrow. And tomorrow I will be on. Thank you, sir. I'm on the, so it'll be a birthday episode, but I'll be on at 10 a.m. Eastern with Alex for another type of Miami Dolphins themed episode. We'll touch on the Tua deal a little bit, but we're going to have MTSU punter Cal Ulbeck on the show, who will discuss his journey for an opportunity to get on the Miami Dolphins. He's camped outside Hard Rock and the Dolphins training camp facility, trying to get a chance, just an opportunity to get on the training camp field, to walk on the Miami Dolphins, to get on that 53 possibly, which I'm sure Finstanza should be his number one fan, because nothing would be better for him than to replace our punter. But I'm excited.
Last year. Oh my God.
I'm excited to have Kyle on tomorrow. We're going to talk not just about his journey to try to get an opportunity with the Miami Dolphins. We're going to talk about his journey as a football player, why he's so interested to join the Miami Dolphins. He played for MTSU. He grew up, up north. Why near Ohio? Why not the Browns? Why not the Colts? Why not the Titans? He's picking the Dolphins. I would love to know that. We're going to also talk about some questions nobody else is asking. He's been on a few shows already, but we're going to ask other questions about, things that, that other people haven't asked. So tune in tomorrow to learn more about Kyle. It's going to be a great episode, and it's my birthday. So, tune in tomorrow. Say happy birthday in the comments. It'll be nice.
Hey, Bobby,
but yes, sir.
You're like going on 27, right?
Yeah, 27. Yep, that's it. Exactly.
Just check.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I just got early grays, but it's all good.
I know. I know. I was trying to give you a little.
I appreciate it.
But
Yeah, it's all good.
You had to throw the gray in there, didn't you?
I did. I have this little pen out. Let me see if I can paint it a little bit, fix it up. But anywho, guys, it's been a great show. I'm so glad that Finstanza was able to join us. Again, we've missed him being on here, but again, I hope he enjoys his vacation. When he gets back, we'll have him on more often. Fish Tank, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just love talking football. I'm glad you folks came out and joined us today. And Finstanza, don't worry, I'm gonna get them parking passes soon.
There you go.
Give the kids the true experience. I actually just purchased the other tickets I needed in the exact same section. I couldn't believe the price. So we're all set to go. I'm just missing that beautiful parking pass for the southeast corner, so I can follow in your footsteps.
Well, I am. They just emailed me yesterday to make sure that my address was correct. So as soon as I get a FedEx thing, I'll let you know that they're coming.
All right, let me go put this here. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Evan, any final thoughts for you, my man?
Just happy to be with you guys. Nice to be talking Miami Dolphins, positive things, not negative things. I can only feel I just know in about an hour and 45 minutes we'll be hearing the negativity coming from the rants of Houston. I can feel my ears burning.
Oh God!
Burning.
Oh jeez!
Don't you all feel like he's yelling at all of us? I feel like he's yelling at us. Like, really,
well,
like,
that's why it's called the rant.
That's right. That's why it's called Real Talk Rants.
That's
the point of the show. We all know what we're getting into when we watch.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? All jokes aside, though. Hey, all jokes aside, Steve has been buttoning his butt, putting out awesome content with Real Talk Rants. He's doing a great job. We love him. And no matter agree or disagree, we love him, and we love him on the channel. And I think he's getting ready for the show. I don't know if he's still watching or not, but I know he's excited about talking about it. He has not given me any leeway where he's leaning on the Tua deal. So I guess we'll find out at 2:30 Eastern time. Say what?
I can easily tell you. I guarantee you it's slanting to the negative.
Well, we'll leave it at that.
Negative.
All right. All right, everybody. We appreciate you. Thank you all for tuning in. I mean, my goodness, everyone who popped in today. Jamie, it's crazy we keep a useless punter because our kicker can't kick with anyone else holding. Look at that. Scotty, Brett, Daniel in the house. Let's see here. Make sure Steve Malloy, of course. Make sure Cat for Life. That's Fish Tank, Finn's Table Talk, Bleezy, Omar, Aladino, everyone, Chef. So happy to see you. Andrew, I'm so happy to see everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you. Steve says, I'm here. Oh, yeah, Steve. Put on those boxing gloves and take it to Finstanza at 2:30 Eastern time. Kick his ass with positivity. But until then, guys, like, subscribe, and always, most importantly, Dolphin fans, fins up.
Fins up.
See you all next time.